Hello and welcome to the Astro Tarot channel for July. I hope you had a good June. Those of you that saw the Astro Tarot channel for June will have seen that I got quite emotional doing that one. It seems as if there's a lot of emotions around at the moment, but not necessarily in a bad way. Can we ever say that emotions are bad anyway? But I think what I'm trying to say is that things have been emotionally charged for quite some time, going back to 2012, I'm talking about really here. And I feel like the emotional energy that's around now is very much about actually a settling of emotions and getting really clear and being okay with everything the way it is. And actually that real trick of accepting things the way that they are, really truly, which is the only way that we really truthfully let go, seems to be very supported at this moment in time. And that, I feel, is the stuff that magic is made of. So this July, we start with a Mercury retrograde in Cancer. So Cancer itself is the sign of the emotions. It's ruled by the moon, and the moon is all about the emotions. It's also all about the past, as is Mercury retrograde too. So Mercury went retrograde on I need to put my teeth in today. Mercury went retrograde on the 26th of June. Okay, so it's a long Mercury retrograde this time. It's usually about 3 weeks, but this one goes on to the 20th of July. So what we have here is a prolonged, slow period. Very much like Cancer in itself. Cancer is a sign that is quite slow. It's very attached to the past, and Mercury retrograde is all about the past. So things from the 26th or around the 26th until the 20th could be very much around you revisiting things in your life to do with the past. It may even be that you find past behaviours coming up to bite you on the bum, and you might feel like, oh damn, I thought I'd managed to get past that one. Well, you have, all that's happened is it's just come up again, just to make sure, just to kind of really release you and really help you to go forward again. I have had, this happen this past week or so. There's been things coming up where I thought I'd learnt that one. And actually I'm in that place now where I realise I have learnt it. And that bit just made me sure that I'd learnt it rather than hadn't. So that's the type of thing that can be coming up, as well as things to do with home and family, because Cancer is very much about the family. So your home would be in the spotlight, also because Jupiter is moving into Cancer as well at this current time. So what we have is Jupiter expands that energy, and as Cancer, as I said, is about past emotions, home, mother, family, all of those things start to get the spotlight quite strongly. So there's a lot of processing going on around the past and how you feel about things, your relationships, your emotional life, your personal life, your home life. It's kind of the whole spotlight is shifting away from the external. It's been quite external for quite a few months in quite a big way, but there's this real sense of now coming into our own internal guidance, our own internal compass. You may have found, I'm doing it again, you may have found that since the 26th of June, your dreams, for instance, could be a lot stronger. I mean, this was very pronounced for me because I wasn't dreaming for weeks on end before the 26th of June, which is unlike me, if I'm honest. And then all of a sudden, from the 26th of June, my dreams came back, and they came back very, very, very vividly. And some of them have been very prophetic as well. So I'm pleased that I've managed to say that word, prophetic. Just seeing if I could do it twice. So basically what I'm saying is listen to your dreams. I have my moon in Cancer, so it's probably doubly strong for me right now. But actually, you know, Mercury retrograde does give you messages from the past or from your inner self. So, you know, there is this energy of that, and the fact that Cancer is ruled by the moon anyway, there is this energy of your dreams being very, very strong at the moment, particularly as we also have Neptune trining something. I think it might be Jupiter as well. It's trining something anyway that is bringing up amazing dreams again and spiritual awakening opportunities. It's almost as if we're being asked to let go of doing things our own way, because it's just getting in our own way. So just see if you can tune into that energy for yourself. Are you being told to take a step back, just chill out and just be at home and just relax and just allow things to happen, just go with the flow a little bit more, you know, especially if you're not used to doing something like that. Maybe you could just give yourself a little kind of, okay, I'm going to try this on that day, you know, and just see it as a project, just a way of playing and being a little bit different, and just see what kind of manifests from there. So anyway, I will move on to the tarot part of the Astro Tarot channel now, so we can see how that's reflecting in the cards. So for the first week, we have the Eight of Cups as the beginning card, you know, so everything I was just saying here about looking at the moon energy being very strong and emotions, you know, Cups is about emotions. Then we have the 8 here, so the 8th is about strength. So what we have here is some quite strong emotions. These are about processing emotions so that we can go forward. So again, this seems to be like maybe revisiting something and realising that that way doesn't do it for you, just doesn't float your boat. So what you have here, the next step, is the 4 of Cups. So it's showing that the person is really, what they're reaching for in the 8 here, which maybe feels a world away, actually starts to become a closer reality here with this cup. So it's showing that something is coming down, you know, whatever you're really feeling, whatever you're really wanting, you know, whatever you're really desiring, it feels as if, you know, this is being heard and it's coming through. And, you know, what you have here is a little issue going on about whether you should take action or not. And that's in your mind, because we've got 5 here in the Osho Zen, that's the 5 of Swords. But even that says backtrack in normal tarot. That basically says, you know, it's time to take a step back. But here, your mind seems to be saying there's so much comparison going on between the past and the future. And I think it's okay to be comparing the past and the future, because then you really realise, you know, what is good for you and what isn't good for you. The problem is when we start to make a drama out of that and feel pressure that we need to make a decision. You don't. That's an illusion, especially at this moment in time. I think the best way to actually work with this energy is, the clue is there. In those symbols up there, we've got the moon. I'm showing you with my nose there. And we've got Cancer here, okay? So my nose is in Cancer. It's like saying my nodes of the moon are in Cancer. Anyway, I'm just entertaining myself right now, and I'll get back to giving you the reading. So the moon in Cancer is shown very strongly here, and it's actually on the 8th, which is the day after in the second week. It's on the 8th that we have the new moon in Cancer, and this would be talking about getting very clear about what you want. On the 7th, which is the last day for this week, we have the dark moon, and we have Saturn going direct in Scorpio as well. So that will be talking very much about getting very still. You know, if you can meditate that day, I think that would be fantastic. It's very watery still, so it's like wanting to calm the waters so that you can go really deep and really see what's going on down there in the layers of the depth of the ocean within your soul. If you can really allow yourself to do that on the 7th, then on the 8th, you know, if you can really go, right, okay, from that process, I see these feelings really clearly now around the past, and this is what I want for the future, and maybe just make some statements such as, it may well be that, you know, I would, not I would like, but I am open and willing and ready to receive. It may be a new home, or it may be a new level of commitment with your relationship, or a new partner, or, you know, a better relationship with friends, or, as I said, it's more about emotions, personal things, and home life. So using it in that way feels like the best way of working with those energies towards the end of the 7th and the 8th, the week the 7th and the 8th. Okay, so that's the first week in June, and now we'll move on to the 2nd. This ties in nicely with what I was just talking about towards the end of the first week in June. Maybe if I stand back here, you'll see it a bit better. So the first card we have is the Knight of Swords. This seems to be saying not to get caught into your mind, as we did see a little bit of that in the last week, but just remember to clear out things to do with the past and actually, you know, just take charge, have a bit more courage. And I know Mercury is still going retrograde at this time. However, we do seem to be asked to just be a little bit foolish. You know, quite often people feel like they can't do anything during a Mercury retrograde. And, you know, well, maybe, you know, that's a voice of wisdom in itself, you know, this thing about listening to what is going on, the rhythms of the planets and all of those things. But I think the problem comes when something naturally comes your way and we say, oh, I can't do that because it's a Mercury retrograde. I mean, me, myself and I am moving during a Mercury retrograde, which is idiotic, as most people would say or have it. But, you know, I found somewhere, I like it, and I need to move. And that's just the way the cookie has crumbled. So I'm just like going through this journey, going, okay, I'm going to be observational and treat this as an adventure rather than something to get stressed about. So far, so good. So, you know, it's just talking about trusting that, you know, what comes around is somehow in the natural flow of Mercury retrograde. You may be stopping it, may not be, you know, or you trying to actually have it the way you expect it to be also may not be. Okay, do you understand where I'm coming from with this? Well, so when I say here, have courage, it's more like not courage of your convictions as such, but maybe trust in the universe that, you know, whatever you're putting out there, especially if you've put out there, you know, as we did say for the 8th, there is this message here coming through about it being heard somehow. And then we have the Fool, which is a lovely card here. It's talking about new beginnings. And yeah, sometimes to begin new, we have to be foolish. We have to learn a lot. We have to be open to what, you know, is manifesting. Otherwise, how could we possibly do it? So, you know, in a way, it's just saying, yeah, I mean, maybe it's foolish not to go forward, you know, not to make the change. And it's just a necessary part of beginning again, afresh, if you want the new beginning. And by the looks of things here, it's beautiful. We've got the Two of Cups in the tarot here, which in the Osho Zen is friendliness. So it shows that, you know, there's this energy here of being able to actually, those things that you maybe wished for in the week before may already be happening. Well, I say week before, it might have even been just the day before, which is interesting that it's so fast like that in a Mercury retrograde. But, you know, the personal life is incredibly well starred here for new beginnings, which is beautiful. Okay, so we shall move on to the 3rd week. And in the 3rd week of July, I think we have Aries going, no, Uranus going retrograde in Aries. Again, what I was saying about, you know, or an awareness that maybe pushing our own agenda is not particularly a fantastic thing and might actually block us and might actually go in our way or get in our way. It feels like that might be coming through quite strongly in the 3rd week in July, because we have Uranus, the planet of upheaval and chaos, going retrograde in Aries, which is about pushing your own agenda more than any other sign, really. So it's like taking a step back over that and looking at dragging that back up and seeing if that goes forward, if that serves you or not. Okay, I've already had a bit of that energy this past week, actually, but I think it was because Mars was conjuncting my Mars, so it's like a rocket up bum. But yeah, I woke up one day feeling really angry, actually. My husband was like, "Tiffany, you're angry. I'm getting out of bed. I'm getting out of here." I was like, "Hi, am I angry?" I didn't even really correlate the feeling with me. I didn't own it at all. And then it became very aware. I became increasingly aware over the day that I was angry. Just little things that were happening that was mirroring it back to me, really. And then in the evening, my husband said, "Well, you know, you didn't get back to my loving text." And I said, "Oh, I thought you were creeping because you said I was angry." And he was like, "No, I'd completely forgotten all about that. It was just an open-hearted text." And I was like, "Oh." And then he put on a song, and the song was "You Make Me So Angry, I Just Want to Get Away From You." Well, that wasn't the song, but that was the line that was on the song. And he was laughing about that. He was saying, "Boy, Tiffany, you are angry." And then we played the Gift of Enlightenment that night. And that's where you have to get all your chakras and then go up to be ascended once you've cleared all your karma. And I have to say, he never beats me. But he did that night. And not only did he beat me, the only chakra I managed to get was my root chakra, which is all about anger, right? And pushing your own agenda. Well, it's not, you know, all just about that, but that's where that would fit. So he was kind of finding that very funny, and I was saying, yeah, it's just because the universe, you know, needed to give me the message that I needed to sort out my anger. I need to get out of this angry space. It's blocking me. So as I said that, I kind of got up indignantly and went to walk up the stairs, and we had a fire on because it's still pretty cold down here in Cornwall. Look, I've still got my winter poncho on. And anyway, I went upstairs, and when I came down, it was all smoky. And he said, he was still coughing, and he said, "Tiffany, you are still angry, aren't you? Because as you were saying that the universe was giving you the message that your anger was blocking you, and you got up and you walked up the stairs, as soon as you left the door, like, there was this big backlash of smoke from the fire." I was like, "Oh, okay, all right, I need to do something about this." And then the dreams that I had after that helped me remember that I'd got angry because I was pushing my own agenda, and I was thinking I had to make my way happen. And actually, you know what? I don't at all. I need to just get out of the way. And I think this message is coming through strongly for everyone. And I'm just saying it now because maybe you're not quite aware of it yet. Maybe you are. But have a little think about that one, because I think it's going to be coming on strong in the 3rd week of July, which we have here. So, you know what I was saying about the Uranus going retrograde in Aries, which is a fire sign? We have that kind of energy very strongly pictured here. We also have Mars, I think, doing something on the 22nd, and I think it might be conjuncting Jupiter in Cancer. So you would have thought that would be a bit more watery, but actually, you know, Mars is a fire planet and Jupiter is an expansion planet. Cancer, yes, about the emotions, so you would think it would expand your fiery emotions, which it may well do, but one of those fiery emotions is ambition. So I think in the 3rd week of July, it really comes under the spotlight about how we are using our ambition? Are we using it in an aligned way, which the Ace of Swords would be suggesting we are, where we're sending out, again, very much like the first week when we saw the man dreaming over the cup, you know, coming in. What we've got now is the wand coming in, which is the next step, you know, of manifestation. It's where it goes from the internal into the external. So it's saying, you know, it's almost like another step here. Are you now in an alignment with it? You know, are you now using your ambition and your will in a very intuitive, open manner, rather than a I must make my own way happen, which can also be very Cancerian. So I would watch that tendency. Because if you are, we've got a bit of a tower moment here. We've got the thunderbolt, which is the tower. This is also a very Uranian and Mars energy, you know, which are quite quick upheaval energies. So it's like saying, you know, if you are doing something that is out of alignment, it is likely to backfire. We also have Mercury going direct that week as well. So, you know, sometimes when Mercury goes direct, it does so with a dramatic bang. So, you know, you could really have some type of dramatic clearing here, or some type of dramatic lesson about how you are creating things. And I feel, you know, it's quite good to see it. Whatever happens, I feel like the lessons will be learnt. So it will be a good outcome either way. Okay, let's move on to the fourth week. In the fourth week, things feel a lot calmer. Suddenly I feel a lot calmer. And I'm quite surprised at that passionate energy in the third week, because it seems to be saying that it's really the first 2 weeks in July where the emotions are the strongest, although we do have grand water trines going on throughout the month. So I think we need to take that into consideration as well, that everything that is going on is generally set up for harmony, which is what trines are about, you know, and the water shows harmony in terms of emotions. So I do feel generally that this month has some really beautiful, magical, spiritual, healing energies to it, and I do feel that whatever goes on is something that in a way we can easily let go of and we can easily move on from, but not in a way that we forget, in a way that we learn. So I really feel that is a very strong flavour of this month. But in terms of the tarot, what we have here shows the Empress. Lovely, okay. So it shows we have this landing energy at the end of July. This kind of arrival. Again, spotlight around home, mother, family, relationships. But there's a sense here of, you know, there's some type of carrot dangling with this. There's some type of, it's becoming a reality now that something could happen. You know, either taking your relationship to the next level, whether that's with your mother or your lover or your children or very close friends, or your relationship with your home, relationship with spirit. All of those things there feel quite strong when I'm talking about this. So it feels to me as if we can see that here as well with this card here, which shows a sense of relationship being offered, you know. It's almost like an olive branch, and it's like, okay, I've cleared so much of the past and I'm clear about what I want for the future, and I would like to know if you are in the same space as me around this or not. It has that energy. It's almost like a negotiation, a practical communication where the emotions are just so calm now. There's no need for any drama, you know, that's all kind of cleared last week, all of those things. However, the mind is still playing into things a little bit. I have that going on here, the mind, okay, which is the Knight of Swords, funnily enough. That's the second time he's kind of showed up in this reading. So what this seems to be saying to me is we've had comparison, we've had the mind, you know. It does feel to me like the mind doesn't really sit that well when there's so much energy in water. And there may be this thing of like, do I, don't I? I'm really not sure whether I should do this or not. And I just feel like hesitation, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, I think the person that hesitates and makes mistakes learns a lot more than the person who doesn't. So, you know, it feels to me that there's a sense of, go on, love, you know you can do this, you know. It's a bit more like edging forward, slowly, gently, calmly, but not allowing your fears to stop you. I think that's a very strong message that's kind of going on there. We have a full moon on the 22nd in Aquarius. You can kind of see that there, this full mother, this full woman, this full moon. Although, you know, the 22nd was last week, there seems to be the energy of the full moon kind of going forward, particularly also as you have the moon symbol here, and it's in Taurus, which is ruled by Venus, which is the Empress as well. So it shows that it's hanging around quite a bit. The full moon in Aquarius is very much about how do you benefit the whole, you know, how do you work for the highest good of everyone involved. So it's turning its attention away from personal emotions that was quite strongly apparent, you know, around the new moon of the 8th. And it's basically now saying, okay, so you should have had that place to process, you know, to nurture yourself and given yourself that. You know, if you give yourself anything this month, it really is the beginning of the month to allow yourself to process your emotions. You know, be still as much as you can, be reflective as much as you can. Don't be afraid to go there, okay? And as you do, you'll clear so much stuff. And then when it gets to the Mercury going forward and the full moon in Aquarius, our energy comes out of ourselves again, and it's all about how do we, now we know who we are in this present moment because the past isn't clouding us anymore, you know, how do we actually put that in action to be of service for ourselves and for everyone else in the world? And that's what you kind of have here, but you've just got this mind energy trying to control it a little bit again. So it just feels like it's okay. You can just talk to yourself nicely and gently, and there's no need to fear, you know, whatever happens. I do think we've got that message going on again for the general this month, which I'll show you now. Again, mind energy of not really being able to make a decision. Two of Swords, this feeling of like, I must know what to do, but I can't see what to do. It's because actually you can't see what to do because maybe it's not yours to do anything with at this moment in time. And to tune into the feelings more for the guidance than the head. For this month anyway, that seems to be coming up very strong. And we also have here the Emperor. You see the Emperor here, he holds on so strong, just like those Two of Swords. It's like saying, you know, when you don't really know what you're doing, then you're not really letting anything go. And as that happens, we've got this card, clinging to the past. Okay, so, you know, this could also be about relationships that have gone into love triangles or things along those lines, because this is the Three of Cups. So this could show that energy being around as well. Again, if you're feeling like this, it's because it's a sign that you haven't processed your emotions enough yet or deeply enough yet. You know, this month is the month to do it. Nurture yourself, give yourself the time. Don't be afraid to let all the stuff come up because you're being supported by the universe to go there, you know, and as you do, then you'll be able to be so much clearer, so much lighter, so much freer, so much more able to actually start manifesting, you know, what you want for the future, not stuff from the past. That's the thing to let go of. No clinging to the past. That's the mantra. That's a negative affirmation, no clinging to the past. You know, but what I'm trying to say is we have a very, very strong energy here about letting go. All of these are holding on to something, and that's the general for July. And as I said, Cancer can really hold on. It's crab, it has pinchers, it doesn't let go. Be aware of that energy, because the upside of Cancer is it can really take us deeply into our emotions. And when we've really gone there, then we can really let go. That's the challenge and the gift that it presents. I hope you have a lovely month. And if you feel like having a more in-depth one-to-one reading, then my link is below. Thank you very much.